What's going on, Dark Critics family? How y'all doing today? And as y'all clearly see, hey, I'm back right now from my, celebrating my little vacation or so on my B day. It was really great. And for this episode, I can clearly see in the title down below or so, I'm doing my review or so on Black Adam. I just saw the movie just not too long ago. I literally saw it like literally on my B day and all that. But I had so much fun with everything going on. I didn't record or so or get everything set up or so for yesterday, but I'll at least have it in for today, of course. And what are my thoughts about it? Of course, I'm doing it in two parts with the spoiler free and for the spoiler part. So I know a lot of people has already put out their reviews so and already looked at the movie or so already, but I still wanted to put in my thoughts or so how I felt about it in terms of the film itself. Um, my thoughts on it was those that it was a really great movie, had a lot of action to it, and shed some light or so on a few things that I didn't know about Black Adam. Honestly, like I don't read the comics like that, so it's like I really didn't know much about him. I just knew that he was extremely strong. He was a great rival in terms of Superman, and he was his how he got his powers were related to that of Shazam. So I was like, okay, cool. So now we get to know more about his character or so, and having Dwayne the Rock Johnson playing as Black Adam. Like honestly, I couldn't wait for it. It was really great in terms of what he was doing. He played his character well. He is Black Adam. So in terms of everything or so, I have seen different comments, seen different reviews in terms of people what their thoughts were and came out to the movie or so. But I at least saw the movie or so before I saw those videos and comments or so about it. To at least get my own opinion or so and what I respected or so in terms of it though, because a lot of people got some naysayers saying a bunch of negative stuff we're not hearing there, like oh it don't follow his character or it's not doing this, not doing that. I mean, to me, it's like were there some parts in there that I did feel like they could have done better in the movie? Yeah. Were there some parts in there I did feel like that was a little bit annoying? Yeah. But all in all, how I feel about it or so, like I said, it was a great movie. I give it an 8 out of 10. And also too, if for those who have just seen the movie or so themselves, so hey, put down in the comments down below what y'all thoughts were about the movie and also like what parts y'all thought that was really good. Um, I guess you could say there's not much further detailed or so in terms of it. I guess the only particular nitpick I have when it comes down to the movie was just based off of the characters they chose for playing for the heroes. Because to me, I'm looking like this is all in Black Adam, and I mean, yeah, you can sit here and you can bring characters that we're familiar with and those that we haven't seen in a while or so. Bring an introduction. I know I heard some people sitting here saying like, oh, they could have fleshed out the character a little bit more or so, but to me, I feel like they done enough. Because I feel like you don't need to sit here and do like a whole 15-minute origin story for each character in order for you to like understand. Sometimes you can just give enough to understand why. So you might sprinkle a little bit of a small flashback in there just to add something to the character. But the main focus so is to Black Adam. So one of the things I had heard or so when it came down to the little particular nitpicks so that a lot of people had for the film was like Black Adam not being having this language barrier when it came down to him or so, because it's like you went from 2600 BC, which is a very, very freaking long time, all the way up to the present. And so they thinking like for him to sit here and not have much of a language barrier is kind of weird. Because honestly, in my mind, when I saw it, I kind of thought that same thought too, in terms of like, you thought that the language that he had, from way back then or so would have been his main language or so, and then maybe after like maybe like a day or two has gone by that he started to then like start talking more normal or so. But I guess with his whole Shazam abilities, so I guess it kind of speeds it up a little bit faster to where you don't have to deal with it. I mean, he still was disoriented, about being in a whole different timeline or so. So it still had that effect though. But I guess to say some people might felt like it should have been a little bit more longer. Like not particularly like say on some caveman stuff, but it should have been something that would be more so in terms of like he's trying to adjust more. But we got time in a movie or so, especially in an action movie like Black Adam, to sit here and do all that extra stuff. with a character as popular as him. So without further ado, we're not going to get down to the spoilers part of the video. If you have not seen the movie, hey, by all means, pause the video or so and put it into your save for watch for later list or so, and we'll get back to it. But as far as it is, hey, let's get down to the video. So, how they did in terms of the movie, some parts in there I did not see coming. In terms that Tim Adam or so wasn't originally the first that got the Shazam powers or so. It was his son, which the thing I thought that I liked was the fact that you thought in your head though that his son was him, because how they portrayed the movie made you thought that this was Rock when he was younger. And then it's like later on, as the story progressed or so, was when he did become Black Adam or so, or like it followed exactly what was seen in the movie at first. But then I feel like his character and how he thought felt a little bit too much like okay, yeah, he wants to have freedom for his people and all that though, but he just seemed a little bit too edgy. Like he felt like he was more adult than he was even in his old form. Like it made Shazam look like something was really mentally wrong with him in the head though, if they were around the same age group when they got their abilities. So when they explained his backstory about how the Rock got his powers and all stuff, I was looking like, oh, okay, that makes more sense and such. I was like that kind of took me for a loop though. Still in the movie, it was just like it was later on I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that does make more sense. The characters that they chose for the Justice Society or so, I thought they were there. It was definitely a unique dynamic, but it did felt kind of funny with how they chose each character or so. Like, and I guess we could say it kind of falls back into the whole nitpicking about the characters and tied to why they picked them in terms of the backstory and all that stuff, because people who know about Hawkman, they think in terms of Hawkgirl as well, in terms of because each character all have their different versions, so you think in your head like, okay, maybe they'll tell more of a story in terms of what's going on involving his relationship with Hawkgirl, but I guess they want to save that for later, I guess. Yeah, because I'm thinking like CW version and then a little bit of the animated version or so, and I'm thinking in my head like, okay, so Hawkman's black, which is cool but still kind of weird, but then he's rich. Okay, there are some versions of that he kind of is like that, but then it kind of makes you wonder to like what's this X-Men level crap or so that they're doing with him and his jet fighter and all that stuff. I was like, huh? And then of course the MVP of the movie, Dr. Fate. Oh man, I loved him so much, man. He was a character. He definitely was. When it came down to the newcomers, Adam Smasher and Cyclone, I believe his name. I want to call it Vortex, honestly, but when it came down to them, one little nitpick that people were having or so was Cyclone's whole aerodynamic effect or so, whereas like every time she busts a move is always in that little not 3D, but like the whole CGI kind of thing or so. Where every time she's doing it, and I get why people do it, because it is kind of repetitive and it is kind of annoying every single time that she busts a move, but at the same time it's like with her doing her little cyclone with her powers or whatever, it's kind of like you either allow her to like give her some screen time to do the move, otherwise you just literally see a green tornado just moving stuff towards Black Adam the entire time in the movie, and it would kind of feel like, damn, yeah, let the actor get enough screen time. So it's like it's a case 2020 in terms of it. It is what it is. Adam Smasher, he's definitely a character. He's like that. He's like that. You can tell he's a real ass beginner, but it makes you wonder though, like in terms of like what like why didn't his grandpa or his uncle or so didn't train him to learn how to use his abilities better? It looks like he just gave him the suit and just kind of like, hey, there you go. I thought that was weird. But like I said before, solid 8 or say 8.5 out of 10 in terms of movie. I definitely see. Oh, also too, for those of you guys who've seen the end credit, oh, I can't wait for Black. I can't tell if this is gonna be in terms of Black Adam 2 or it's gonna be for Superman 2. Either way, shit's gonna get real. Now, in terms of what they do, now it could be to where like now, like I said, I'm jumping in this here because it could be to where it's like, okay, they talk. They may not get into a fight just yet, but they most definitely gonna fight though. Ain't no way that Black Adam gonna sit here and not try to scrap with Superman. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Now, I hope they just don't pull that same thing like they did for Batman and Superman, where it's like they fight, but it was short, and then they stop the fight because of some other villain or so, to where they have to unite and fight together on that. Like, I don't mind that, but it seemed kind of predictable in that situation. To me, it's like, if you're gonna let them fight, let them actually fight for at least a little longer than 30 minutes. Give me at least that, to where it's like, okay, yeah, this is really a fight. They scrapping over here, like just like how they did for Black Adam and Hawkman or so. If it's around that kind of fighting timeline frame, I'll be satisfied with it, in my opinion. Uh, Trying to think what else here. To me, I thought that was kind of funny though, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on it, that their whole anti Shazam thing or so was kind of like not. I think it wasn't really necessary. I mean, it's not bad, but I feel like that's something they could have pulled on like a Black Adam 2 kind of thing, not for the first one. I mean, I guess you could say they needed something to prove that Black Adam is not the destroyer per se that he is. But to me, I felt like it was kind of predictable in terms of like the history, when you find out that the main villain or so was the descendant of the king and all that stuff. But to me, if I felt like it was kind of stupid, because I'm looking like, yo, why 5,000 years that they literally came around with this whole idea to uh try to succeed in what their ancestor has done. And I'm like, it's stupid. Honestly, you would think in your head like, hey, our ancestor was on some satanic stuff or whatever, shouldn't we not try to follow in his footsteps and such? But I mean, I guess you say as the generations come by, everybody has different thought processes and different thoughts of what they want to do. So I guess in our day and age, power hungry people or so will kind of pull that. So I guess you say, I guess. But I do wonder though, in terms of what they're gonna do for when it comes to Shazam and Black Adam meeting or so, because you do know that in the comics, so they do fight. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna come out of it at some point. But hey, lay it down in the comments down below what you guys thinking about the movie, what stuff you feel like they could have done better or so, and just what your overall favorite scene that happened in the movie. And as always, if there's anything else that y'all want me to react to, or something that y'all want me to like do a video on or so, put it down in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell so y'all be notified every single time I post a new video out. And as always, this is your boy Dark Crimson DZ. I'm out, y'all.